Did you know that about 50% of the world's population lives on under $2, and 20% lives on just under $1? Those numbers may seem surprising, but they are unfortunately true. Maybe with your help, we can make those numbers change. There are many starving and malnourished children and adults around the world in places like Africa, China, the Middle East, India, Southeast Asia, and Russia. In Africa, about 233 million people in sub-Saharan Africa were hungry or malnourished, but in China the poverty scale isn't any better. Nearly 500 million Chinese people live in or have come from rural areas and are extremely poor. 72 million Middle Easterners, most of which live in Iraq, are still fighting to combat poverty. India, home to over 1.2 billion people, 67% of which live below the poverty line, and 77% of those reside in slum-like conditions. Poverty in India is also greatly intensified by the caste system, which pushes the undesirables into poorer neighborhoods. Almost 70% of undernourished children in the world live in Asia, and many of their families most likely live below the poverty line on $1.25 a day. In Russia, recent economic crises have pushed millions under the poverty line. In 2015, 22.9 million Russians live in poverty, which is nearly 16% of Russia's total population. From these numbers, you can probably realize there is a great need for missionaries to go to these areas, preach the gospel, and bring these needy families resources to live. Proverbs 14:21 says this: "It is a sin to despise one's neighbor, but blessed is the one who is kind to the needy." From this, God says if you ignore His calling to go out and do great things for these families who have nothing, you yourself will not be blessed. Luke 6:20-21 says, "For Jesus said this, Blessed are you who are poor, for yours is the kingdom of God. Blessed are you who are hungry now, for you will be satisfied. Blessed are you who weep now, for you will laugh." I only stated 2 Bible verses. That's all the project requires, but whatever. Anyway, God is calling us to go and help these poor families. Become a part of your local charity today and go do God's work in these areas, which God has not been revealed to yet.